welcome on a Tuesday night. We are going an hour earlier tonight, because most of us want to catch the men's basketball game against Southeast Missouri State tonight. Isn't that where our coach came from? Southeast
No,
Missouri State.
Northwest
He
Missouri
was, he
State.
was,
Oh, Northwest. Okay, I get them confused. Okay. All right, guys. Before we get started, as usual, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I believe we picked up one subscriber this week. Let's see if I can pick up a few more.
Winning.
What's that?
I said winning.
Okay. All right. So hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Leave some comments. We'll come back. Somebody left some comments on the last episode, and I went in and answered all of his questions. And certainly share it out. Share it out. This week we're going to share it to the state of Michigan. That's your challenge, guys. Find somebody in Michigan that you know and share it up there. Okay. We're going to do things a little bit different because Coach has to leave the show early tonight. So we're going to start backwards and start with our game picks first. So bear with us while we do that. And certainly go ahead and leave your picks on the comments while you're watching us make our picks. Okay?
Okay.
All righty. First game, USC at Oregon. Paul, give me your take on it, buddy.
Well, after having played both of those teams the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty confident Oregon should have their way with USC. Their USC's defense cannot hold up to Oregon's running game. So give me Oregon big.
Okay. All right, that's what I wrote down. Oregon big. Hi, Vandy. Oregon wins and ends the nonsense of USC being in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Calvin, give me your pick, buddy.
if the game was at USC, I'd pick Oregon. And it ain't at USC, so I'm going to pick Oregon easy.
I would have to agree with you guys that Oregon is they're the better team. Jason,
Oregon.
would you like to chime in here?
Yeah, Oregon.
Okay. All
Well, I
right.
was just looking up Michigan State stats. I was just trying to.
I'll have them. I'll have
get caught
Michigan
up.
State stats coming up here pretty
Okay.
soon too.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I got Oregon as well. It's at Oregon, so I feel like.
Okay. Yeah. Guys, we're gonna do Michigan State tonight. Don't worry, we'll get to it. All right. Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech. By the way, I took Oregon and I'm taking Georgia Tech. Jason, go ahead and give me your pick.
What was the picks?
Pittsburgh at Georgia Tech.
At Georgia Tech.
Yes.
I'll take Georgia Tech. The freshman QB is starting to look like a freshman for Pittsburgh. So I'll take Georgia Tech.
All righty. Paul.
Yeah, I love Georgia Tech, man. Yellow Jackets all the way, baby.
All righty.
They have a stud quarterback.
Kelvin.
I think Pittsburgh's good record's just a product of their schedule. I'm going to take Georgia Tech. And
Okay.
I
So
like
far-
Georgia Tech, but I'd love to play Georgia Tech in a bowl game because I think we'd wreck them. So
I like how you say that. Wreck them. Well, I think we wrecked them once before.
they're the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Oh, all righty.
That's
All
why I said
righty.
wreck 'em.
Vandy's Pitt. Georgia Tech has given up over 1,100 yards in total offense the past 2 games. Pitt will light the Georgia Tech secondary up. Pitt will win. Okay. Thanks for chiming in there, Vandy. Nebraska at Penn State.
Penn
Kelvin, you
State.
get to go first this time.
Penn State, I'm going to go with the most talented team. Penn State.
I also took Penn State. Paul.
Penn State.
Penn
And
State.
Penn State.
Yeah. They're playing for their coach now.
And to go to a bowl game, I think they can get bowl eligible.
Yep.
Yes, if they win this game, they should be bowl. Or do they have to win 2 more?
They have to win both of them
Yeah, they got to win their last 2.
to
Do
be
that-
6-6.
What do they got? Michigan State or something the week after?
No, they just
Something
beat
like that.
Michigan State.
All
I'm
right.
not sure.
Washington at UCLA. I'm taking Washington, but I was tempted to take UCLA.
I'm tempted to take Washington, and I'll take Washington.
Okay, Jason.
He takes Washington every week.
I love their quarterback.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You're like me and Vandy. That's why I would pick Vanderbilt, because I love their quarterback.
I don't think I'm like you and Vandy, but
No, I'm saying like Vanderbilt, not Vandy Chris. Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Washington has been struggling a little bit, but God, UCLA, you just don't know what team's going to show up. So I'm going to roll with Washington as well.
Okay.
But this game's going to be close, I feel like.
Paul.
Yeah, I am pleasantly plump, but some people might call me husky. Let's go with Washington.
Okay. Alrighty.
I love you, Paul.
Chris Vandy says Penn State, they are still a more talented team. UCLA, but there won't be anybody there to see it. Okay. All right. Kansas at Iowa State. I took Iowa State in this game since they got the monkey off their back and started winning again.
Yeah, I'll take Iowa State because both teams in Kansas are really bad.
Paul.
The game is at Jack Trice, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the home team. Give me Iowa State.
And Jason.
Iowa State.
We're all going to pick the same teams.
I think Iowa State can run the ball on every down against Kansas.
Okay. So, right, the first five games, we've all been identical. Nobody's strayed. Here, I can see a difference here because I already probably going the opposite way. Vandy says Iowa State should win, but don't be that shocked. Okay. Minnesota at Northwestern. I did take Northwestern, guys. I see Northwestern eligible this week.
I'm right there with you, Dean. I like Northwestern's defense. So
yeah, they're gonna mess with that freshman quarterback at Minnesota. I'm gonna go with Northwestern as well.
Okay.
You know what? I'll go out on an island here. I'm going to say Northwestern has a hangover. They're going to get beat by Michigan twice.
I love you, Paul.
It could happen, but I just see Northwestern's defense just messing with the head of.
It's a pick'em game. It's a pick'em game. You know, it's not like.
Yeah.
Hey, Vandy, the game is at the junior high soccer field. You gotta admit that's a beautiful stadium with the Lake Michigan right outside their gate there.
Yeah.
All right, Missouri at OU or the Sooners. Jason.
OU all the way.
OU.
Paul.
Mizzou.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Same as last week, and he came out ahead. So
yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. Paul made some risky calls last week, and he was our leader last week.
Yeah.
All righty. I also took the Sooners, but it's at Sooners. All right, Illinois at Wisconsin. I took Illinois. Does anybody have an upset? Wisconsin winning this game at home.
Not me. Bielema hates Wisconsin.
I'm gonna roll with Wisconsin in this one.
This one might be 50 or 60 points. Like I don't think Brett will hold back.
Okay, Illinois.
Did you get me down for Wisconsin?
Did you want Wisconsin? I put you down for Wisconsin. Calvin wants Illinois, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the game that Calvin didn't want to pick.
I knew we'd all pick the same team in this one, but
Fresno
one?
State at Utah State.
I picked Wisconsin, Kelvin. I picked a different
No,
one.
I'm talking about this game he just said. I asked him, why did you put that game on the picks? He said, because I picked it like that. And I go, okay. But
You know that both teams are near the bottom of their standings, right? In the same league. They're in the same league, near the bottom.
Okay.
I know that Fresno State's going to win, but go ahead.
What game is it?
Fresno State at Utah State.
Oh, yeah. I'm going. Well, Fresno's been struggling since Warner got hurt, and now since Warner's a senior, they kind of moved on from EJ. They started the season hot. I wouldn't be surprised at who won this game. What's the spread? But I'm going to go with Fresno. But Fresno's been struggling since Warner got hurt.
Yeah, well, their record's not that great. I don't even know if they're both eligible yet.
They got to be close because they started the year like 5-1.
I think the two teams. I think Utah State's 5-5, and Fresno's a game or two better.
Yeah, Fresno started the year 5-1 or something like
You
that.
You gotta go with our boy Brian.
Paul, what do you got?
I have no idea what an Aggie is,
Fresno State football.
but I do know what a Bulldog is. But it's going to be that high elevation there at Utah State, that thin air. Give me the Aggies.
Aggies mean you're an agricultural college. You're a land grant school.
Oh.
It's like Texas A&M is agricultural and military is what A&M.
Well, then give me the farmers.
Yeah, Fresno's 7-3. Fresno's 7-3. I started the year 5-1.
Yeah, they're second place in the West.
Good defense.
My bad.
Good defense.
I picked Fresno State anyway. Let me catch us up from what Vandy's saying. Mitsu's getting Probula back, and they run the ball better than anyone Oklahoma's faced. He didn't give us who he's picking them. He's got Illinois. He's got Utah State. They're better than people think. He's seen them in person.
There we go.
Okay, final game, guys. Final game.
Yeah, like I said, I could see that game going either way, especially with Fresno not having Warner as their quarterback.
Yeah. Okay, so Iowa, Michigan State at Iowa. I took Iowa 38-3. That's probably one of the wildest scores I've picked in a long time, but I just feel like it's going to be a Minnesota-Wisconsin type game.
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Spit it out, host.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, senior day, 35-10, Iowa.
Kelvin.
Iowa's going to win. Senior day a lot of times don't bode well for actual performance of the seniors, but
I think we lost senior day last year, didn't we?
They're a little too emotional. Kirk talks about it all the time, trying to get them calmed down before the game starts and everything. But I'll go.
Senior. Go ahead.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like. You'd like to know that if it's going to be a stormy day or something. But I'll just go. If it's a normal fall day, I'll go Iowa 36, Michigan State. Not much. 8.
Okay.
Love it.
Jason.
I'm going to go with 41-12, Iowa.
Okay. So we all basically see this as a major blowout. The Iowa's offense is going to kick some butt.
Yeah.
So that means Iowa's going to win.
Once we start talking about the game, we'll see.
Hey, hold on. I'm behind on.
What? Go ahead, Jason.
I'm behind on some things, so I need to ask Kelvin, what's the injury report for Iowa? Have you heard about the offensive line?
Kirk, as far as the guys that got recently injured, he said everybody has a good probability to be back, except TJ Hall has a probability to be back, but he'd be the lowest probability.
Oh
yeah.
Man. I didn't know.
he
if
Of
also
course,
he also
Bowie's been out all year. He's probably still out, and a string is out. You know.
So the one thing that Kirk he downplayed the arm in a sling on Saturday, saying that all injuries either get a boot or an arm in a sling. But according to Chad Lysicle's podcast this afternoon, somebody reported that TJ Hall went to class with a sling. His arm is still in a sling, so I don't see him playing.
But Kirk did answer Chad's question about TJ, and Kirk said exactly what I said. He said he'd have the lowest probability to be back, but he could be. So
yeah. All right.
And he said if he's not back, he said Lutmer and Deshaun Lee would start at cornerback with Jalen Watson popping into the cash position when they need it.
Okay. All right. One more quote here from Vandy Chris on these picks. This is one of the games I thought Iowa would lose based on the way they abused Iowa secondary last year, but Iowa was a little better than I expected. Notice he said a little better. Hawks should win it.
Top 10 defense in the country is a little better.
Yeah. Phil Parker has had this marked on his calendar since last year. So. Yeah. Kirk did say something. He said this team, about as good as any team he's ever had during the Big Ten season, has shown up every game. He said last year we had 2 games we didn't show up, UCLA and Michigan State. And he says, I have faith the way the guys practice and everything that don't worry about it. We're going to show up. He didn't say don't worry about the game because it's a Big Ten game. You could lose it. But anyway.
All right. Before we get into the Michigan State game, do we have any news that we want to discuss?
Do you want me to give the news?
Yeah. We're going to go. Okay. We're just going to kind of keep things
tonight. There's quite a bit of news, but I can do it really quick. I don't know if everybody knows, but the Iowa-Nebraska game next week's on CBS at 11 a.m. Penn State got bailed out of their big buyout, and Franklin signed a new contract, saved them $50 million. Iowa plays LSU Thursday in soccer. LSU has a good record, but I don't think they've beaten a team that's in the tournament. Pat Anger was pretty entertaining on the Matt Randazzo show. Pat Anger's a pretty honest guy. When they ask him about Iowa, he says it's a very disappointing season to lose them 4 games. He says if you're on a team, when you lose 4 games like that, it's like devastating. And then Randazzo says, yeah, all the message board says Kirk should leave. So we should move on from Kirk. And that set off Anger. He says, yeah, I seen them. He says, what a bunch of losers. He said, all the guys that say that are a bunch of losers and a bunch of quitters. And he says, by the way, a lot of them people that say that, I know them personally. He says, I meet them all the time and I know them. He said they were quitters in high school and they're still quitters. He said they quit basketball when they were on the basketball team in high school and junior high. They quit football. He said they're quitters. I love Pat Anger.
Bandwagon fans.
Yeah, and then the big news yesterday, I didn't know it was coming this quick, but Mr. Stinson, the wide receiver from Florida, who now is 6'3", 200 pounds. He last ran track in 2024. He ran 11 flat 100 meters, which is slightly faster than Weechin ran it in high school. And that was a big deal. He decommitted from UCLA a couple months ago. And then today, it was funny. Grunk was talking about how great Vanami is. And some reporter told him, he's a walk-on, don't you? And he goes, are you kidding me? He didn't know that his own teammate was a walk-on. And then, there was a story today I read about our next opponent, the women play. Is it Thursday we play Baylor, ranked 7th?
Yes.
They have a point guard named Scott, who 47.1% of their offense is either her scoring herself or assists. As a freshman, at Arkansas, I think it was at Arkansas, she led the SEC in scoring.
Is
And
that
anyway,
her first name or her last name?
her last name.
Okay, because it's Baylor, and you never know.
I never write down the stuff, so I just remembered their name was Scott, and they are a three-headed monster. They got three great players. They got a small forward that averages like 12 rebounds a game. Anyway, those three players are 49% from the floor, 41% from three-point land, and 82% from the free throw line. And they block a lot of. They got a great rebounding team that blocks a lot of shots. So that's going to be
the kicker, Kelvin. The kicker on that one is those three players never leave the floor, so we can wear them down with our bench.
Just like other teams wear down Sturt so bad. I'm joking.
I like how he says that.
Anyway,
I mean, Sturts is on another level.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when a true freshman leads the SEC in scoring, she's kind of on another level too, I think. But anyway, other news, pretty cool news. Layla Hayes was named one of the top 5 true freshmen for the last week in the nation. And she's a backup at Iowa, and then another thing was, I didn't know this, but every USC scoring drive against us was helped by penalties. I didn't know that. And then it was interesting that Chuck Long was begging Tim Lester. He loves his, what do you call a playlist at the start of the game, Jason?
His, that's
a script.
Yeah, a script. Yeah.
He says Lester usually calls the first 15. Chuck Long said normally they're very good play calls. He says he wish he would expand the list, and keep doing it instead of going off, script more plays.
Let's script some plays for the second half to start. There we go.
Yeah.
Get us off to a good start.
Iowa has 28 seniors going through senior day, and Entringer announced that he's going through it. And the deal is might go to the NFL. I think he probably will, but who knows?
He'll figure all that out after the last game of the season.
Yeah, the other surprising guy on the list was Krogh, the offensive lineman. He should have been a redshirt senior next year, but he's retiring. And Kirk said he's one of the greatest young men. Kyle Krogh. He's hardly played at Iowa, but he said he's one of the greatest young men. And Myslinski's coming back. Wetchin's not coming back. He said that on the interview today that he has decided he's moving on. And,
so I guess he did have an opportunity to come back.
No, he didn't.
He said he really didn't. He said he really didn't. He joked. He said, I really didn't look into it that much because I'm ready to go. But he said, I guess I should call up, what's his name, Pavla or whatever for Vanderbilt, and ask him about it. He was joking, I guess he's a guy that Vanderbilt's quarterback's the guy that got the extra years for being a JUCO or something.
Yeah.
Then Big Ten is trying to get us to go to a 24-team playoff, just like South Dakota State and North Dakota do. And then the Big Ten also is there's a civil war within the Big Ten about capitalists buying our TV contract, and the Big Ten TV contract, and giving the Big Ten schools a lump sum at the beginning. And Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan and USC and Oregon are demanding way more of the pot than just an equal share. And in my experience with them capital investment groups, they're a ripoff anyway. It's like if you had your 401k and somebody said, hey, I'll give you if you get 300,000 in your 401k, and they go, I'll give you 100,000 right now, sign it over to me because you aren't going to be able to use it all, It's just a rip. usually capital investments are all about themselves, them investors. And then, of course, big thing is the portal. Everybody knows we need a defensive tackle or two. This was from Brad Heinrichs. Today he was commenting on that, and defensive tackle, maybe a wide receiver and a safety are kind of, but what'll really be decided was in bowl prep, when all them young players get a chance to compete that first 10 days of bowl practices, the coaches will know them young guys, hey, are they like ahead of schedule or what? That'll really help. But Kirk commented today that the portal will be a bigger headache than ever this year because it's a one-time deal. Like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th of January, it opens up where you can go in for like a week or 10 days. And he says coaches are just going to be shocked by who goes in. And then you ain't going to have time to really do a lot of vetting and investigation of these guys. So it's going to be harder to know the guys you're trying to sign and stuff. So Iowa is going to be in it because we got 28 seniors. You know, we got 16, 17 commitments, so we got some room, and we know somebody's going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, is Hank Brown going to leave? You know,
I think Hank Brown and Fitzgerald both leave. Fitzgerald because he's going to go where Daddy goes.
Well, he's not on scholarship, so it's like Stratton might leave, but he's not on scholarship either. Yeah. But I just figured every year, every college is going to get a portal quarterback, unless you're Ohio State and you have a bunch of 5-star quarterbacks or something. Yeah. And the rumor is that Childs and the MSU coach are going to go back to Oregon State. How about that? I don't know if it's true.
Oregon State wants their coach
back. Well, Michigan
huh?
State don't like him. I don't think he's getting along very good at Michigan State. Coach Jonathan Smith. I think he's a fine coach. I just don't.
Speaking of Michigan State, they are putting it on Kentucky right now in men's basketball.
Yeah.
Cool.
Michigan
cool.
State
That's
looks good.
Michigan State is always a good team, though. Good. They're always solid in basketball.
And don't we have a game coming up against Michigan State
in December?
Yeah.
December 2nd or something.
And I believe it's at Michigan State, so that sucks.
Yeah. Ben McCollum's debut in the Big Ten.
A little bit of a tough opening.
Okay.
We're gonna win, Paul.
Yeah. Can I go back and Vandy had a couple of comments on that Arkansas girl. And
I'm done with the news, I think.
Okay. Vandy says that the girl's name is Talia Scott, and she played at Auburn and Arkansas. She averaged 22 points her freshman season at Arkansas, and given that she's at her 3rd school, it makes one question if she is a good teammate or not.
Oh. She got injured last year and didn't after about 3 games and redshirted. And I don't know if Auburn lost their coach. Who knows? But
all right. Vandy also had this question early on with comments from Pat Fitzgerald. Who do you think he ends up coaching? Obviously, I think it's Arkansas because they're close to signing somebody, and he's close to signing with somebody. And will his son transfer to play for him? Absolutely, I think he does.
Yeah, okay. That's 100%. Just because he's a walk-on, and he's not going to play at Iowa, especially with the new recruits that we got coming in. He's not going to play next year. He's not going to beat out anybody. So, yeah, he's gone.
That's one complaint I have with our media. They have the running backs coach on. They have the quarterbacks coach or Tim Lester on. They never ask questions like that well, how's Fitzgerald's boy looking? You know, it's always just about Hecklinski and
Gronowski.
Can I use a similar example with women's basketball at Iowa? All summer long, all they wanted to talk about was deal. A little bit of Layla Hayes. Didn't once bring up Journey Houston. And the girl's playing regularly in meaningful minutes of the game.
Well,
it's like, why did we forget about this girl?
Nobody
she-
listened to Jan Jensen. It's like, why don't you people tune into the coaches' news conference?
She was only playing because of the injury though to 55. Whatever
Tegan
her name
Mulaney,
is.
who's
Yes.
who's now playing again, but Journey's still
She's
getting
not-
more minutes than Tegan.
Yes, because she's coming off of an injury. Jan actually talked about that. Now,
okay.
what she's shocked about with Journey is Journey's ability to pass the ball in the paint. Her ability to find open big girls like in the paint. God,
Oh, what's your dog fighting with?
That's the cutest growl ever. I do want to talk with what our answer, I don't know, however you want to say it, with what Vandy just said, because I agree with him. I thought the same thing, Vandy. Given that she's at her third school right now, Talia Scott, it makes you question what kind of teammate is she really? So I'm curious, like, how many shots does she take? Like, what's her attitude when she's on the court? Like, is she somebody who it just doesn't give credit to her teammates, or does she not pass the ball? Like, I don't know what I've never watched her play. I've only read her stats.
Okay, well,
So yeah,
if she's
Vandy
accounting
on
for
that.
49% of her team scores, either through assist or through kept scoring, obviously she's feeding her teammates. Unless that's all scoring.
I mean,
It's
she
not
scores.
Not all.
I like
it's
this
not
one.
all.
Oh, you're going to live this one.
It's not.
Oh my
But-
gosh!
But if you listen to Jan before the first game, that the reporters asked her about all the players, and she said, "What about Journey Houston?" And she goes, "Oh, she's a baller. She is like very aggressive and a good passer and a good rebounder, and she is really impressed, in practice." Then when they asked about Layla Hayes, she said, and it surprised me. She goes, "Layla Hayes is the best post prospect we've ever gotten at Iowa." I thought, isn't Ava Hayden for making guesses?
But Ava Hayden needs to work on her free throws.
She's talking about, when she says that, she's talking about her type of post. Posts that don't dribble. The Monica Sinanos. Ava Hayden is basically a Hannah. She's a bigger version of Hannah. She's a runner. Like, she can run the floor. Whereas Layla, she's a true post. Like, she does all the moves. The problem with Layla, which is what Jan even said, is that she's just too nice. And they asked Layla about that in front of Journey, and Journey just looked at her and smiled. So apparently they're trying to make her mean, and she's just not mean. Well, did you see even against you and I? That little girl ripped the ball right out of Layla's hands. Layla had the rebound, and that little girl just took it away. And I was like, that's what Jan's talking about, right?
But
there.
all the message boards before the season and while they were, this spring and everything was, Layla Hayes is too big and slow. She's not quick enough. She's about the quickest as far as making her move in the post to get a shot off as you've ever seen, and she's not bad at running the floor. All
right, guys, I'm going to go to a commercial here, and then we need to get on to Michigan State. We're losing viewers.
quick before we get into Michigan State, I gotta say something.
Okay.
Kelvin mentioned Brian Ferentz at Fresno State.
Mhm.
So I've been going through Fresno. Okay, since EJ Warner's out, but they've won the last 2 games. Their quarterback against Boise State, they won 30-7. The quarterback was 10 of 21 passing for 30 yards. That reminds you of. And then that's a Brian Ferentz win right there. And then against Wyoming, they won 24-3. The quarterback was. So Vandy's on to something with Utah State, but the quarterback was 12 of 27 for 95 yards, but they won 24-3.
That's
They have a really good defense.
Wait a minute, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's he coach? He's not coaching quarterback.
Tight ends. I'm just talking about
tight ends.
Yeah, he's coaching tight ends. I was just talking about the quarterbacks doing the same thing, and they did at Iowa.
Oh, but he had the quarterbacks there,
and they're winning games.
Yeah, I just said Brian because I wanted the listeners to know. Hey, Brian's at Fresno. That's where he's at.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. I thought it was funny.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of Michigan State stats real quick. Jason, if I miss anything, please jump in and add to it. They're averaging scoring 24 points a game. They're giving up 31 points a game, and for the record, Iowa's at 28 points a game. And we're still at 14 for giving up points. So not bad considering we gave up 20 and 26 the last 2 weeks. So we're still doing pretty good. Yeah, they're averaging on rushing 3.7 a game, 4.5 against the opponents, and I think we were 4 point something ourselves. I have all that written down, but I didn't put it together. Passing yardage, I think we have more passing yardage than they do. No, we don't. No, we don't.
They got 200 and we got 100.
Yeah, they're averaging 212 a game, which isn't a whole lot anymore.
No.
Okay, total offense, 5.3 a play, 6 point by opponent. So, honestly, guys, this is stacking up to where our offense could have a huge day. Maybe we could even pass the ball a little bit.
Do we have any?
We have. Okay.
I know Penn State's a common opponent.
Yeah, they played Penn State good for a long time last week.
Yeah, Kirk mentioned it. He mentioned that, and plus Minnesota took them to overtime before. So
it ain't like it's a pushover.
Yeah,
you're playing a Big Ten team, so
yeah. So their big rushers are Nick Marsh, Omar Kelly. 559 yards, 544 yards. And then there's a little bit of a drop off. Krishan McCray.
They could have Jake Kelly.
231 yards. What's that?
They could have Jake Kelly. It wouldn't matter.
Can I just, I'm going to enter, Nick Marsh is a wide receiver. He's their best receiver. You didn't mention Frazier, and Frazier's the best running back.
Wait a minute. Maybe I did something wrong here. Maybe I was looking at passing. Maybe I was looking at passing yards here.
He was giving us receiving yards. I figured when he said Nick Marsh, but I just thought, let's just get through the stats and get to the stuff.
Okay. So, Kamari Moulton, he has for rushing 612 yards. Gronowski's our second leading rusher at 370. Patterson 263. For a guy who hasn't played much, what's that tell you about Patterson being third on the team and second, and actually the second running back to have a better record?
Just had to get healthy. Had to get healthy to be put as the number 2 running back. That was all.
Yeah.
So we're averaging 100. Looks like 138 yards passing. I got to go back and see if I can figure out on the rushing who I messed up with.
Frazier, he has the 116 carries for 520 yards. he's averaging less than 5 yards a carry.
With a terrible. The thing that's wrong with their offense, other than quarterbacks that don't throw for a high completion percentage, is they got the worst offensive line maybe in the Big Ten. They give up literally 5 to 9 sacks a game.
I mean, partially that's on the quarterback as well because he doesn't get rid of it. Kind of like Nebraska. Kind of like Nebraska's quarterback situation is a little bit better now because the quarterback Latif, he gets rid of the ball, whereas the other dude just wants to hold on to it and not throw an incompletion because he wants
I wish we were playing the other dude. Can you get his ligament?
I did notice their quarterbacks really don't throw that many interceptions.
Whose?
Michigan State's. The backup has 1, and Childs had like 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the whole year, So.
Okay.
But Childs kept, in most games, he was completing like 49% of his passes. He had one great game against a really good team. I don't know if it was Ohio State, who it was. He completed almost 80%. But
I like how Kirk kind of mentioned that about Michigan State after they started 3-0 last year, kind of went into a funk, and they kind of thought they were didn't use these words, but kind of good cruise control, and then they got lit up and dominated.
Yeah. Well, last year, if I recall, Iowa didn't punt or didn't force a punt against Michigan State.
No, and only forced 1 against UCLA. Those are the 2 games at 6 in everybody's craw. Or we'd have had 10 wins. Those are 2 games we should have won.
Well, of course.
Unrelated, but on Sunday, the Jaguars did not punt against the Chargers. It was the first time since 2010 they played a game and didn't have to punt. So, just interesting.
I think if they won.
Yeah, they won 35-6 over the Chargers.
Cool. I love it because I don't like their coach.
Yeah.
Michigan State, as usual, has a punter that averages like 50 yards a kick. But the good news is their punt coverage is terrible, and he out kicks his coverage a lot. So Wetchen was supposed to have a great game last year against Michigan State, and Wetchen mentioned today that he's looking forward to the punt return. So
I got a feeling this whole team wants to redeem themselves. Okay, all right, I finally got the rushers up, but hey, Frazier is only rushed for 520 yards, so it's not a whole lot different than the receiver. So kind of like Iowa's rushing, it's like none of their guys are even near 1,000. None of ours are near 1,000. Despite us running the ball a lot.
Moulton and Patterson both missed about half the season.
Moulton missed the first 3 games. He didn't play against Iowa State.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So
their
and the other thing
is
about the Michigan State offensive numbers, one thing you got to realize is their defense is so bad that they don't see the ball very often. Well, it's the truth. If the other team can just keep the ball on you, it's hard to build up, a lot of carries, Averaging almost 5 yards a carry is pretty good for that one guy,
Yeah, I'll have that here in a minute. Okay, so Iowa, on the other hand, has 28 points a game, 28.7, so closer to 29, giving up 14.9. That's impressive considering the last 2 games. Think of where we could have been if we could have held them to a touchdown less each time, and we'd have won those games. Okay, let me see where we're at here. Total offense. We're averaging 5.1, and we're giving up 4.4. But we're only averaging 310 yards of offense, but we're only giving up 261 yards of offense. So,
and considering the offenses we've defensed, Indiana, Oregon, USC, that's really impressive.
And Penn State's got a lot of talent. and Iowa State, when they're healthy, is a good, very good team.
True.
You know, people downplay playing Penn State and Iowa State now because of their injuries or coaches leaving or whatever. Well, why don't you buckle a gal darn helmet on and pads and you go play Penn State?
Right.
And you go play a healthy Iowa State. They're just like a shadow of what they were, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our punting is averaging 40.7, and punters against us are doing better.
Well, that's a misleading stat because of how many times we're willing to play field position and punt when other teams might go for it. So, I mean, you know, the reason our punting average isn't so hot is because the offense is doing a good enough job of did we not have a 3 and out? Maybe just one against USC?
Yeah.
I
Iowa rarely goes 3 and out.
we had 1 3 and out in the game before.
Okay.
Against Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had 1 3 and out against USC, I think. But hey, can you change that dog's name to Seth Wallace? He sounded like Seth Wallace on that to the referee there at the end of the game. That isn't Seth Wallace in the room with you, is it?
I'm waiting for
Fresno State Bulldog.
I'm waiting to see if Dean has figured out the tackles situation yet. I'm waiting until he gets to the leading tacklers.
I don't even, guys, I gotta admit this. I don't know who I don't have their tackles on here for some reason. I have ours. At least I thought I did.
That's too bad. I was hoping you would get to it. I just wanted to see what you'd say, but their leading
what do you
tackler,
think? Okay.
Their leading tackler is Hall at 74 tackles, where our leading tackler is Scher, however you pronounce it, with 63.
But if you added our middle linebackers tackles together, our middle linebackers would. Harrell was leading the team in tackles when he got injured, and Montgomery and him's tackles is more than Shire's. So
right, but I'm going to guarantee you, Michigan State's whole team has more tackles than Iowa for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they're on defense more.
They're on defense a lot more than I am.
Yeah.
I thought maybe their safety would lead them in tackles.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I was just gonna say Shar, Wampa, Ettinger, and Lutmar, our top 4 tacklers, and then it's not really close after that. TJ Hall's in 5th place, and he's 20 tackles behind the leaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guys in the middle of your field are going to get most of your tackles. So.
Okay, so I can't remember if it was Kirk or if it was Chad Lysico who said it on his podcast today, but said that Deshaun Lee would take TJ Hall's spot. I thought Deshaun Lee already had his own spot on the other side of the field.
No, I told you what Kirk said. He said if Hall doesn't play, Lutmer and Lee would be the cornerbacks, with Jalen Watson or Godfrey, the freshman from Florida, would share the cash position if Hall can't play.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope this. I mean, I think we can get by without Hall this week. But let's just hope that he's ready to go against Nebraska, because Nebraska at this point still scares the crap out of me. So
everybody scares you, Dean.
Yeah.
Michigan State doesn't, but watch us get beat. I'm confident in this Michigan State win. It's probably one of the few games I was confident this year. Oh yeah, I remember too. Early in the preseason, I was confident in the Indiana win too, but that's before I knew Indiana was going to be as good as they are.
And you know what? We were almost right on that anyway.
Yeah, we were.
Fellas, the wife just opened my door. I gotta go.
All righty.
See you
Sunday, buddy. See you Sunday.
Yep.
I'll see you Saturday during the game. Chat.
Yep. All right. Bye, guys. Go Hawks.
Go
Go
Hawks.
Hawks.
Yep.
All right.
Beat
Nice.
Sparty and Party.
Sparty party.
Mhm.
Yeah, that looks
Go
better. I like that
green,
better.
go
That's a
home.
better look.
Oh, did I mention, Dean, that Brad Heinrichs? I thought I had it in the news, but I don't think I said it. It was Brad Heinrichs got a call from Beth and Kirk Ferentz a couple days ago, and they told him he was named Hawk of the Year. He
Yeah.
got the Hawk of the Year award. Kirk told him, he said, yeah, like when I was hired here, they offered a job to 10 other people, but they turned it down. And same with you, Brad. Like he was joking to Brad, that other people turned the award down, but you got it, Brad.
That's nice.
So, if people want to know, because you said you read some stuff what Heinrich said today, is it on 3 where people can go find him and read
Yeah,
what
on
he
the
said today?
go pay a subscription to On3. It'd be the best money you ever spent. There every day is all the breaking news, like on Bjorn today. I don't think I told that
You didn't
news either.
you didn't mention it either.
2 days ago on 3, the writer Kyle Huseman, does the best job. He talked to I don't know if he talked to family, and they told him that it's the Final Four of Texas, Notre Dame, Kansas, and Iowa. And then today, Listigo said that he said it's now 3 with Iowa, Kansas, and
Texas?
Texas, I think. And then it's been said on the On3 thread by people that are usually kind of correct that Kansas giving her $1 million, Iowa 750,000. That's Lucy Olson money. And
Okay, can they actually do that without going through the clearinghouse?
And then today they said that Iowa upped their offer. Whether that is completely true, I don't know. But
I mean, it's got to be
Bjorn's
fair market
family,
value. Fair market
but-
value. It has to be approved first.
well, it depends on who it's from, If any amount is approved, if it's from like Oregon, all theirs is approved because it comes from Nike, and Nike is a publicly traded company, So I don't know if this is true. I'm not saying it is, but the Bjorn family says money's not going to be a deciding factor, And I believe for everything I've heard about the Bjorn family, just great family.
Yeah.
I think I think she's having a hard time deciding. She's going to decide tomorrow and send in that letter, they say, and then announce on Thursday where she's going.
Yep.
And
So,
give the girl a little
I like
space.
our chances. I like our chances now that she dropped Notre Dame from the list. I like our chances.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Texas has got money. I don't know where Kansas is getting their money from if they're offering $1 million. But Kansas is not that big of a big deal in women's basketball.
Yeah, if that's true.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is she's been so tight-lipped, so of her parents. I'd be surprised if anybody actually knew for sure that it was $1 million offered to her. But
little other news update that Iowa fans might care about. I do, but Aaliyah Guyton ain't starting for Illinois. I guess she was a little nicked up to start the season, but they played today, and I seen in the stat thing she played like 12 minutes, something like that.
You just think before she left Iowa, she was going to be our starter.
Whether she's completely healthy, I'd sure like her to be at Iowa right now. I think her and Chit Chat would drive the other team crazy because Guyton could hit 3-pointers. You'd have two quick guards like that can pull up and hit the short 2-point shot and hit the 3-pointers. So I wish her good luck. Kids go where their dad wants them to, I guess.
Okay. Vandy Chris says they just started the clearinghouse less than 6 months ago. Bjorn isn't getting that much kind of money for an incoming freshman. That isn't the rate for incoming women. Ask me how I know. Okay, Vandy, how do you know? He says we just signed 2 players on the top 35, and neither one of them getting anywhere near 75K.
750.
So
No.
anyway, I assume that's how Vandy knows because of what they signed. But you know what? Does anybody really know? Because it's always rumors. For a long time we've heard that Mark Gronowski got $2 million to sign, and some people are saying it's not even anywhere near that. Other people are saying it's a little
I
over
mean,
that.
it's between 1 and 1.5. They used to say Cade McNamara got 800,000, and Cade got maybe a little over a quarter of that. So it's always exaggerated, but we do know Brad Heinrichs commented that the amounts have exploded the last year. These high school football players are getting ridiculous sums, and it doesn't. They can be a defensive tackle, and get a ridiculous sum of money. So
Well, see, things in high school are getting so cutthroat too. They're getting NIL money now too. But these kids are supposed to be pledged to the school in their district. It's not like they can be recruited and be shopped around unless they're going to a private school like Des Moines Dowling, or Cedar Rapids or Iowa City Regis. But apparently
we
these
have a
kids
we
prove at a
have
drop
we
of a
have
hat.
we've had open enrollment in Iowa for about 15 years, and it's open season on athletes in Iowa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My hometown recruited some basketball players, little dinky town, didn't pay them nothing, but they recruited the hell out of them.
Yeah. Guys, you have anything else you want to say? I mean,
No.
Paul, I'm going to start with you. I want you to just give some final thoughts and give you some ideas before we leave the show.
I wouldn't want to be a Michigan State Spartan on Saturday. I think Kirk's going to have these guys focused and dialed in, and I expect a 4-quarter performance.
Okay. Calvin, what do you got? Any last closing thoughts from you, buddy?
I really don't have, I'm terrible at ending shows. Anyway, but in conclusion, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button. Give to the swarm,
There we
because
go.
that's the secret to winning now. And anybody that says it isn't is like lying through their teeth or very, not very realistic. So,
And the thing about it is that the swarm isn't focusing on everybody now. It's just on the elite players that Iowa wants. So
they're focusing on Miss Bjorn because she's not a top 35 player. She's a top 5 player.
Yeah,
She's the
right.
number 1 power forward in the country, and Wilitzko's that'd be two people in the top 5 or 6. But
Right.
I don't
Vandy's
know
got
if the
more
amount. I don't know
information
if the amount. I don't know what the amounts are. I did know what the amount was on Lucy Olson, and
Okay.
I do know some other amounts. But this
All right.
one I
Okay.
didn't know.
Alrighty, so just so we can get another final comment in here before I give my closing thoughts. Kemper was bringing in players. That's Carol Kemper, by the way, I'm pretty sure. Kemper was bringing in players from Mapleton, Maple Valley back in the 80s. Brian David was from Mapleton and played for Carol Kemper. Vandy signed a 5-star ranked number 5 overall in the entire class. Boy, Vanderbilt's getting darn serious about their sports, aren't they, guys?
We
Okay.
mention Mark Cuban every week, so
Yeah. What do you mean? He's giving money to Vandy too?
I don't have to say it every week, do I? He's
Why is that his alma mater?
he's like Indiana has 3 billionaires. He's one of them, and his daughter goes to Vanderbilt, so he he backs Vanderbilt now too. So
Oh, I thought his daughter went to Indiana. That's why I thought he was one of
no,
the.
Mark Cuban went to Indiana. He went to Pittsburgh for a semester or two, and then he transferred to Indiana. And when Cuban went to school, so
You suppose Indiana went on the Shark Tank show and said, "I'm going to present my case here."
they didn't have to.
That's
He was already wearing Indiana garb and had an Indiana bumper sticker. So
All right. Cuban has already donated over $30 million to Vanderbilt. Okay, here's my thoughts. Like Paul said, I think this is a runaway game. I'd be surprised if it was anything different, and if it's anything different, and you guys are going to hear about it on the group chat.
there we go.
Um, I don't think I've been as confident about a win this year in the Big Ten as I am about this game. And I was at the preseason too. I was very confident about this game, even when Vandy said that it wasn't going to happen. Okay, guys. One last thing.
Two words, Dean.
Yeah.
Phil Parker.
That's right.
He's pissed. He's a Spartan. You know.
Yep.
And boy, did he have this marked on his calendar for a year.
That's right.
I keep saying that. Please, people, listen. Phil Parker.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I just want to, in conclusion, everybody, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Help me grow a little bit more. Let's keep growing. My ultimate goal is to get over 1,000. I'm trying to do better than a certain friend of mine who has 1,000 on him, and he regularly gets 500-600 views. So I'm not going to say who he is or anything, but I want to outdo him. So please help me do that. Hit the like button. That also helps get this out to more people. It'll start showing up in more people's feeds if we hit the like button. So that helps, guys. Leave some comments. That always helps. Interact with the show as much as you can. That always helps. And, and share it out. Share it out to your Hawkeye friends. This week, we're challenging you guys to share it out to Michigan State fans. If you made it this far, I thank you guys. Thank you for watching the show. I also have a Facebook page by the same title called Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports. Go request to join. You have to be approved, but any true Hawkeye fan will be approved. Okay. So do that. And guys, I think it's been fun. Thank you. We'll see our fans and listeners and watchers on Saturday night. No, I'm sorry, Sunday night. Duh. Take care.